Welcome back to the Daily Hunt. I'm Henry, and this is my daily show where I provide you guys with market insights and analysis. We're going to be covering Friday, which was Jerome Powell coming out and pretty much giving us a signal that he's going to lower, or the Fed is going to lower interest rates in September. And the market went bullish on Friday against the analysis that I provided last week. However, there are some resistant levels which I mentioned during the previous videos, and I think there's still some risk there for you guys. Also, we've seen crypto fail and not continue higher over the weekend, and now Monday morning we've seen a sell-off overall in altcoins. Maybe it's a consolidation phase, but we're going to be discussing that. We're also going to cover natural gas and the dollar and the situation with the dollar, because I think it's very, very important. I've covered it in the last few videos. And then I'm going to also give you guys some ideas. We spoke briefly about the Chinese market, pharma and biotech being interesting sectors to rotate our capital into. And that's exactly what's happened right now. We've seen Chinese stocks shoot up this Monday, and we've seen some breakouts in pharma and software as well. So plenty of things to talk about. Let's get right into it. I'm going to share my chart and then we'll start analyzing the markets. As you can see, we're within the channel. We found support on Thursday and Friday on the channel, even Wednesday here actually. And then we bounced significantly, and we've kept this momentum for a bullish move on the S&P 500 with Jerome Powell coming out and at Jackson, I think it's Jackson Hole, I'm not too sure. He spoke there, and he gave us the green light that they're open to lowering interest rates. We're probably looking at a 0.25% interest rate, depending on the CPI data that's coming out on the 11th of September. We are currently on this midpoint. So if we draw another trend line here, we're on the midpoint of the channel. So this could easily resist. If we don't get follow through today, and if we don't get a breakout of this trend line that I've drawn on the RSI and this key level of 63, I think we could still sell off it. So the key here is, will there be follow through this week? And in pre-market, it's looking pretty good. We're seeing some sort of follow through in various different stocks. However, in crypto, we've seen a sell-off. So there's this kind of disparity, this divergence happening between riskier assets like crypto and I think small caps, and stocks overall, the S&P 500, NASDAQ doing pretty well. This is the key. I'd say this is probably the key pivot point, whether we go even higher here or we roll over. I did say to you guys in the previous video that the dollar is very important, but also potentially we get this bounce. And then if it fails, we come back down to the level that I thought was key, which is around 6,100, maybe even a little bit lower here. A 5 to 7 or 8% drop is reasonable here. We had the nice bounce as well on the RSI level, which is usually a key level. But I think we're basically seeing a tightening here on the RSI, and it could easily be a pop-off where we go back to these over 70 levels. So it could easily move up higher. My position is still long. I have some stocks that I've invested in, IQ, AMPH, etc. This list we'll cover a little bit later. But I'm not trading any shorts at the moment. I don't think the market's got any shorting opportunities. I did mention in the previous video, Robinhood could be a key opportunity for shorts. I think it's overextended. Palantir as well, but Palantir can continue being overextended for large periods of time or long periods of time. So we're in this situation where I personally think it's just volatility. A lot of volatility here, a lot of tightening in the VIX as well, which I mentioned in the last videos. As you can see here, again, bouncing off that 14, 15 level every time we hit it. If we break below today, we see follow through momentum. If not, we go to 19, we get a sell off that I've been expecting and waiting for. It was mainly a Jerome Powell FOMO early play, all going in retail traders going into the markets, being hyped up about what he said. There hasn't been anything that's led to us knowing for sure that interest rates are going to go down. Yes, he spoke openly about it and saying that we need to control the labor market, but there is inflation data coming out on the 11th of September, which we have to monitor. So for me, it's still a very, very risky play to go all in right now. I'm being very cautious, very selective with my opportunities, and playing some of the best plays that I can find in this market. Primarily swing trades, of course, because that's what I do. I'm a swing trader. So yeah, the VIX here again on a key at a key level around that 15, 14 level, bouncing here. If we don't go under 14, we don't get that bullish blow the top off move to 6,700 on S&P, in my opinion. Very, very difficult. If we don't and then we break up, I think it's probably about time we break above 17 and then go to 20 again. And that's the key level for me. If we break above the RSI 50 here, we probably start riding up higher and we could get a big sell-off. So it's a 50-50 coin flip. So selecting stocks that will do well and are showing strength, relative strength to the market is key. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So this is just a broad market analysis at the moment. The NASDAQ, as you can see here, head and shoulders on the NASDAQ developing nicely. I did mention this in the previous videos, so you can go and watch them. Head and shoulders, and we did get the break below. And I think, yes, we can get that overextension, but we could also get the bounce, which I mentioned in the previous video. And we are getting that bounce, and then the head and shoulder formation with the neckline somewhere. I'll just draw the neckline for you guys, so we know what levels we are looking at. So the neckline could be this level here. Okay, we're talking about 23.2k, 23.2k, or around that level. So we have to see, but that's the neckline. And the main thing that happened here is we became a bit oversold on the RSI. The market liked these prices and bought it up. Of course, with the euphoria coming in, and with Jerome Powell speaking positively about interest rates being reduced, we saw the buy up, and we've seen this as well in the Russell. But the risks are there. Yes, overextension to 24,000 is possible, but again, the formation isn't quite there yet, in my opinion. And like I said a little bit earlier, be very, very selective with what you buy. You can't just buy everything across the board at the moment. A lot of stocks are at all-time highs. So we need to be careful what we're buying and when we're buying, if we're buying at the right price, to be able to play those momentum plays. The Russell bounced really nice, and I think this is one of my regrets in the last few weeks, because we've had some opportunities here, and on Wednesday and Thursday it was holding up the 20 MA quite nicely. For me, it was a bit of a risky play, and I think there was no way of me anticipating what Jerome Powell was going to say. It was a news event, and I don't think there's going to be follow through. I think it's very, very unlikely that we get follow through until September. So it could be a buy up in the moment, euphoric buying, as we've seen with crypto as well, euphoric buying, and then a sell off or consolidation while liquidations happen and the market starts finding its direction again. Overall, we're looking quite bullish. I don't see the Russell breaking this trend line. I probably see it moving down. And if we go to US 500, we'll probably know where the S&P is as well. So S&P slightly down at the moment. We have the US 100, which will give us a guide. Yeah, So the NASDAQ here started to kind of roll over and go under the EMAs again. If it goes under, then like I mentioned earlier, we have a draw around 5 to 7%. We have the Russell 2000, so US 2000 here as well. I think this is also selling off at that resistance level on the channel, and it's looking, like I said, it's looking like there's that fear kicking in again. I think it was just will this follow through? Will this follow through into the new week? Will this follow through for a couple of weeks so that we can actually make some money on these trades as swing traders, or will it roll over? Today is probably a key moment. Today, tomorrow. Let's see if we have any economic data coming out. The durable goods tomorrow. We have GDP on Thursday, which could be a key moment. And then we have core PCE here as well on Friday. So that could be, the later part of the week could be quite important. Okay. That's stocks. And if we go to some of my picks, we'll go to IQ, for example. Doing pretty well here. We've had a nice follow through. Holding up around this 2.48, 2.4, 2.5 level, around 1 to 2 on this one, a little bit more, nearly 1 to 3. Moving pretty well. I think we could see some consolidation here from what I'm looking at, and I don't mind holding through consolidation phases. Consolidation, as long as we're in profit, consolidation, and maybe a follow through in a breakout. AMPH looking pretty good. I feel like it needs to break this bull flag right here, so then continue higher. It's a bit of a volatile play, this one. We are at pretty high levels on the RSI. On the weekly, I think there's plenty of space to move up higher. Or we could probably move up higher there. Campbell's, so let's look at Campbell's. CPD, CPB. Just recently broken out here. Held pretty well around this wedge. 1, 2, a couple of times here. Also, you could say this level as a support zone around the 32, 31 zone. And then we've just broken above 33, which is important for me because I think now we can get to 34, but 35, and that will give me a decent profit, maybe a 1 to 3 on this one. We've entered around this level here. We have a stop loss. I think it was around here. So yeah, we can make a 1 to 3 on this one, maybe more, depending on how much this will move, and also it will depend on the market conditions. So usually this will be a defensive play. If the market moves down, this moves up. We can see this doing pretty well, and we've seen it previously move pretty well here in June and November and that period. Another one that was a big play for me, pretty decent move, was ACHV. Again, very volatile, sells off, has these shadows on the. It's kind of like, it's a very volatile play. It's risk on, so it's Pharma, so it can be a bit defensive / risk on. It's sector rotation, but we're in a good place. I think we've broken key levels. We've broken this wedge where our entry point was. We've broken this other resistant level. We're kind of moving through the levels now, and I think this is the first level that I identified. We have the second level here, and we could easily move through the levels. Analysts are saying this is a $15 stock. It's at $3 right now. We bought at 2.75. I think it's pretty good, but it's just whether this will consolidate and it's overextended from the EMAs. So maybe taking some profit off the table might be on the cards for me here. I'll have to see. We played Tesla. I've been trading Tesla from this bottom area here. So we traded around 310, I think 320. So we made this first move, came back down, retested, And then we're trading this move again here around the level that we sold. Not doing so well in pre-market, a bit of a sell-off here. But there's huge potential if the market moves higher for this to move well. If the market doesn't move well, then this probably won't move either. We'll get a sell-off and we'll take a small loss here, which is completely fine because we have some other winners which will compensate and then make some more. We have BMNR. This one is linked to crypto. Crypto is obviously consolidating and doing some liquidations at the moment. There was a big whale that sold off. This one is consolidating here, had a bit of a breakout on the lower time frames. I quite liked it. And I think if it holds up these EMAs or even these zone, I'd still be happy to hold it and risk whatever I've put in as a risk here, which is around 1% of my portfolio, potentially to make somewhere, because I think we were in profit still, a small loss just because it went under the profit area. We could easily make, if it really pumps here at 1 to 20, and this could be one of those asymmetrical trades that I look for that could really pump up the portfolio for the year. So 1% risk with a 20% gain potential if we get an alt season or a bullish momentum coming into crypto. We might be a bit early here, and I'll mention why. So maybe we don't get in this move, but we get in a different move. Even if we get 1 to 10, I'd be happy with that. 15 around this level. And this level here is a 1 to 4. So any of these scenarios, if it pumps and moves up higher, we can do pretty well. We also I also bought Sharplane Gaming. Again, kind of gaming, crypto play. We're quite early around this level. I think this is maybe too early for me, but worth the risk if crypto is going to move up high over the weekend. And again, 1 to 8, and then we have this huge upside potential here if we reclaim these levels that we achieved in May. And I think we can if we do get an alt season, quote unquote alt season. We get 1 to 35. So if we can get BMNR, if we get SBET moving really well, we could be making 50% on our portfolio on these two trades. And that could be a year defining, or two trades are year defining. So we'll see. Worth the risk for sure. Worth taking that risk on. Maybe a little bit early, like I mentioned. So could continue to consolidate here and then break out. So you guys will have some time maybe to buy into these if you like them. With the rest, I won't cover. There's some opportunities which I'm looking for, which are Alibaba. I think this has moved a little bit for me. We'll see if it sells off in open, and then we'll reassess. Barber's very, very nice. I bought it initially. Here. So I have to go back. I bought it initially around this level, which is 117. Moved pretty well. Came back down. I had to sell it for a bit of profit, and I'm looking to buy up again here. And I think there's plenty of room for it to move. Ones that are consolidating a little bit better in the Chinese market are Baidu. So I think Baidu can do really well the next few days. Here you go. Nice consolidation, breakout. Looking good. I think it's slightly overextended here. I didn't get to trade it in pre-market. Opened up quite high. But on the weekly, it's just looking perfect. So you have this consolidation here on the weekly. Tested multiple times. We have the tightening as well. So we could get a big weekly move in Baidu, which then takes us into a move maybe from 190 something, or 93, 94, all the way to 120. Let's see if it's undervalued as well, and if there's some analysts rating it pretty well. 98, it's decent, maybe 100, can move a little bit higher. Then we have JD as well in Chinese stocks, the Chinese market. Here you go. Is it JD.com? So yeah, JD. Here you go, retailer consolidating here on the weekly. I think there's huge upside potential. And there is some previous trades that I've taken. I didn't take this one, but I am looking to take a trade here. And I think this is very nicely consolidated around this area and on the weekly as well. If we draw a trend line here, something like this, breaks above this level, I think it's a key moment. So I quite like it. I like the tightening. I like the market. I like Chinese stocks at the moment. They look pretty good, and they can do pretty well. I think they'll move, but let's see. It just depends on the conditions. We traded it previously here, and it did well. It's just we've waited the last few months for it to consolidate. Okay, that's it with stocks. I'm going to go into crypto now. I'm going to cover Bitcoin. The situation with Bitcoin is we've had a whale sell-off around 112, and that's led to a bit of a sell-off here. I did mention last week that we could move up a little bit higher, a test, right? This was pre Jerome Powell coming out and speaking, which is this day here, Friday. Move up higher, which we did, a retest of this trend line, which we have pretty much, and then a drop. So either we go low to 108 or 100, or we hold through around this 110 level, consolidate, and then break the wedge that's forming or that might form. So we could get a lot of choppy action here, up and down, liquidations happening, consolidations, and then a break up higher. We're in that 50-50 zone. I haven't traded Bitcoin. I do like the short, but it just wasn't really appealing to me. I think the longs are going to be where the money is at the moment. And then we have Ethereum. So we took that trade on Friday with Ethereum. We traded around this 3.36 level. And then we're getting a sell-off at all-time highs, a bounce now on the 10 EMA. And we could then get the follow-through. I think the overextension here would be okay. But let's see what the market conditions are like on open and whether we get that follow through moving forward. I think if I'm looking at Bitcoin dominance, I think we are due a move here in Bitcoin because of this bullish divergence. Okay, very important, this one. I've been mentioning it in the last 3 videos, and I think this could be the key moment. So where we get bullish divergence and we're waiting for this level 36, not the trend line. We'll do an alert here, 36 to break. We can get 36 to break. And I think that's where the momentum comes in. So right here, okay, 36. We'll see. I think I'll put an alert here as well. I think it's just overextended on the dominant side. As in dominance dropped too much, I think it might rise. And this is probably a key level where it can rise because it could find support around the 1100 level. So right here, or 110K bounce, do this, maybe even go down lower, but overall the dominance will rise because I think, as you can see, alts are selling off like 4, 5, 3% today, 7, 6, when Bitcoin is selling too. So the dominance will rise, of course. I think that's it for crypto. I think we can do USDT dominance, rising US dollar here. So we get if we get this wedge break, which we have again, there you go. It seems like it was a dip and a rise. I think the dollar could rise, crypto could fall, the overall market could fall, but I still think it's a 50-50 zone. So if you're trading, like I said earlier, trade with caution, trade as cautiously as you can. I took on a lot of risk in this move with some alts, and I've had to sell it around. So I made a decent amount with Ethereum, but I bought some alts, and then they kind of like balanced each other out because I bought a large portion of my portfolio in Ethereum, which moved well. The alts Some moved well. We sold them in a bit of profit, and other ones we've sold them in losses. So kind of balances out, at this moment in time. It's a volatile market. It's part of what happens. So this dollar could rise, and if it rises, we go to 4.75 as a level. I think then we can get it coming back down, and then alt season or an alt move can start here, which will coincide, I think, with an early September move, maybe September 11th, with some good signs on the CPI data coming out on September 11th. Okay, that's the US dollar or USDT. Now I'm going to go into the US dollar, gold, natural gas. So we'll talk about the US dollar, the Dixie, where the levels are. So for me, I think we're still in this consolidation here. And yes, we broke the trend line. We have to see now, we're moving the levels. So that level broke and then came back down. It was a fake, coincided with support on S&P. And we can probably draw, I think, a trend line here, okay? Something like that. What I'm looking for now is whether it finds support here or comes back up and then we continue tightening here. So it could be tightening, or it could be test, come back down lower. Personally, I think we tighten and then we move up higher. The RSI is holding up pretty well. But again, we're still taking long trades regardless of the US dollar moving up or down. We're just moving into sectors that are going to do well. And we're picking stocks that we think are going to do well. So the dollar is in this situation where it can consolidate and then decide very, very soon the direction of the market and also its own direction. Gold moved up higher, and it broke the first level where you would buy in, you would go in and buy in early, which is around 3.35K. And here we are now showing signs that we can go to 3.4K. And if we break 3.4, we can then really have a nice move here to 3.6, maybe 3.7K, which is a very, very nice risk reward. If you took this trade here, like I was saying, it could be an early entry. Those levels, you're talking about 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 risk rewards or 1 to 10 risk rewards. If you're going in at 3.4, it's 1 to 3. So just that early buy-in would have made such a huge difference to your risk reward if there was follow through. So I tend to buy, half a position or a position here and then scale in, or buy fully and then manage the risk. I think the risk was quite manageable here because you could have kept it tight and exited quite quickly. That's it. Natural gas seasonality probably kicks in soon, so we're going to keep an eye out on this one. I think it does well. Yes, it's selling off, but I think it will do well. Not only for the seasonality aspect, but also I think it's one of the solutions for a fast and cheap energy solution before we go nuclear. So we will have to watch on this one. Could go a little bit lower here, as you can see. Go a little bit lower. Moving quite. I'm just waiting for that trend line breakout. So we're waiting for this retest and the trend line breakout. Yeah. I think it'll be a key moment. Just have to wait. That's it. We have other markets such as Chinese, HSI, Hong Kong, Hang Seng, moving pretty well, creating new highs. But we're going to be trading individual stocks there, and it's looking pretty well. I think I'll leave it with that for today. It's been about 30 minutes. Hopefully that's been informative for you guys. If you've enjoyed it, please like. And if you want more content like this, please subscribe. And we are going to be making more content on my channel related to overall analysis, but we're also going to be doing videos on ideas very, very soon. So we're going to be sharing ideas pretty much every day. If you guys want some free ideas, go and join my Discord group, which is in the bio. You will have to go via WAP, join in as a free member, and then add your account to WAP and then join in. This way, if you ever decide to leave, you can exit that group and that's it. So you have to go through this extended process. WAP, add your Discord, and then join Discord, okay? Also, follow me on Twitter, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I will be posting stuff throughout the day on all of those social medias. But on Discord is where you really get the information instantly. So you're going to get my macro analysis, you're going to get my market conditions analysis, you're going to get my watch list every day. And if you want to join the paid members group, you'll be able to see all of my trades. And if you're wondering why you should join the group, well, I'm one of the top traders in the US Investing Championship, and I know a thing or two about the market. So go and check it out. It's all for free, most of this content, and the Discord as well. And then like and subscribe. Take care.